Christmas mean? Christ Mass. And Mass is the celebration of the death of Christ in perpetuity, forever and ever. Christ remains a corpse. Catholicism uses a crucifix. They celebrate the corpse of Christ. I don't celebrate the corpse of Christ, I celebrate a risen Savior. Christmas is on the 25th of December. The 25th of December was the birth of Osiris, was the birth of Isis, was the birth of Zeus, was the birth of Tammuz, was the birth of, you could rattle them off. They all had the birthday on the same day. What a boring situation. And then we have different groupings in the world. We have the Russians keeping Christmas one day. We have the Westerns keeping it on another day. And they're all slightly out. Why? Because it was the solstice. Excuse me. And the solstice was when the sun returned in its cycle between summer and winter. So there are two solstices in the year. And the different nations celebrated it at different times. And it's interesting that these gods traveled across the sky in a coach drawn by animals. Depending on what deity it was a different animal. If it was Zeus, it would be a goat. And if it was Balder, then it would be reindeer pulling the coach across the sky on the 25th of December. And then Walt Disney took this and he gave the deity inside the coach the name Santa, which if you unscramble it could also be Satan. And he was a 33-degree Freemason, so he should know what he was talking about. And so today we celebrate Santa, and the kids are more excited about Santa than about the birth of Christ, which never happened on the 25th of December because the shepherds were out in the field. And the Bible doesn't tell us when it was because it didn't want us to make a cult day of it. So now, what should be my attitude towards Christmas? Now, there are Christians out there who still honestly have a religious Christian connotation with Christmas. So I must be careful and I must be gentle as a dove, but clever as a serpent. And is there anything wrong with putting a tree into my house? Is there anything wrong with putting a rose, giving my wife a rose? Is there anything wrong with it? But didn't you know that the rose is the symbol of Satan? The Rosicrucian cross, the Rosicrucians. Every Satanist, when he has a speech, will have a rose on his lapel. Ha! Who's the devil to claim the rose for himself? Who made the rose? Christ made the rose. And sin added the thorns. But I can give my wife a rose because I don't feel anything for the devil's rose. And if I want to put a tree into my house or a bunch of flowers, I can do it. If I want to worship at its foot, oops, there's a problem. So if I come into a house and there's a tree in it, I'm not going to freak. But personally, I don't need a tree in my house. I prefer having Jesus in my house. One year my kids said, we want a tree, we want a tree. I said, I don't need a tree. My daughter said, I want a tree. I said, well, get yourself a tree, put it in your house, fill your whole room with a tree, and sleep outside. So she put a tree in the house. But there was no present under the tree. I said to my kids, okay, I'll make a deal with you. It costs so much to buy all these Christmas presents. I'll give you the money on condition You spend it on the first day that the stores open after Christmas. Because then everything will be on sale and you'll get twice as much for the money as everybody else got. No, it'll all be gone, it'll all be sold. They moaned like crazy. Just bear with me. And then that first day we went and I gave them the money and they went into those stores and they went ballistic. And they got all the things that the other kids had and twice as much, and they were so excited they couldn't wait for Christmas to be over so that they could go to the stores. Thank you for saving me, Pastor Bob.
It's time for you to sing.